Hello and welcome to the weekly Soul Revival reading for the week of June 9th. This is your weekly intuitive energy reading as well as sacred guidance to support the revival of your authentic self. Now, when I was feeling into the energy for this collective, I was feeling a lot of heaviness and density and a call for a lot of energy clearing or emotional release, a clearing emotional release especially. Now, I tried to discern this from my own energetic body, which right now I am very tired, but my body is calling for more of a personal integration. But this feeling, it feels like there is a certain density to what you're carrying this week. I want to also 333. I also want to acknowledge the injustices that we are witnessing in our communities, especially if you're in California and Los Angeles specifically. And that may be having to do with what you're carrying this week. There's a lot of heaviness. And, I just feel like there's a calling for expression, as long as that is in a safe space, safe community, safe people to be able to express your true feelings to, as well as just movement, crying, art, expression, screaming, hitting a pillow, all these forms of just healthy energy expression. I was feeling a lot of that come up in my body. But let's see what the cards have to say to expand on that. So as always, I also do this kind of before the call as well, or before the recording as well, as, I tune into spirit and source, and I ask for them to help me be a clear channel to deliver this message to you, as well as asking for them to help whoever is meant to find this reading, for them to find it in the divine time that they're meant to find it in. So right now I'm just shuffling the deck. We always start with the tarot reading for your energy check-in. Emotional themes that could be stirring in your soul, anything in your energy that wants to be called on, and I'm very curious to see, what more detail the cards can provide for, or how it can help me discern kind of what this energy you're carrying this week is. And so please show me the energy of the person that is viewing this right now. Who am I reading for and how are they feeling? Yep, sounds about right. So I'm going to be reading, this is the main one that came out here. And it came out a little bit sideways here, but we have the 9 of Wands. See how tired that person looks? Yeah, I feel that. This feeling of like holding on, last straw, totally how this energy feels. I yawn a lot when I'm moving a lot of energy and clearing the density from my body. And my goodness, before, when I was just tuning into the energy of this collective, I could not stop yawning, could not stop tearing up. Yeah, let it out, let it go. You've been holding and carrying so much and being strong about it too, and I think, when we talk about that feeling of like, I don't want to be resilient anymore. I want to be soft, like we think of resilience as such a compliment. And right now this is feeling like, cool, I know I'm resilient. I'm actually really tired of being resilient. And so it's just feeling like that is coming through for you this week of like, I am really tired of being so strong. I'm really tired of holding it all together. I'm really tired of having to persevere when I'm exhausted. And, also, just this feeling of like, I don't want to fight anymore. This like reverse 5 of swords coming out too. Just like, tired of the battle, tired of the inner battle, and the high priestess wanted to come out here too, and so also like trust your intuition, and trust yourself, trust your inner knowings, where sometimes that is where we have to honor our energy and move from a really instinctual place, rather than what life is telling us to keep up with, and we do our best to keep up with our responsibilities and keep up with life and what we have to keep up with day to day. But also, trust that your body especially is very wise, and it will intuitively let you know what you need, and it'll intuitively guide you, So, like, even when I think about yawning, right? Like, yawning is such a release, but it's also a way to get in more oxygen. Your body's very wise. It knows when you're not taking enough deep breaths. Even when we talk about the symptoms of anxiety or the symptoms of depression or sadness or whatever it is, anger, right? Like, these all communicate something very wise, and that's like, any takeaway for people is that your emotions are never wrong. They're just information. And, we know what it's guiding us to do if we take the judgment out of it, if we take kind of the mental conflict out of it, and we actually realize that our body is on our side and it's actually nudging us to a deeper knowing of something that we need. When we're feeling sad, it means we've lost something of value. It means that we need to take some time and sit back and recuperate our resources. Crying, when we cry from sadness, it has a different quality to the tears than if you cry from allergies or cry when you're cutting an onion. Okay, when you cry from sadness, your tears release a protein that actually makes your tears roll down your cheek slower. An evolutionary tactic to help get and elicit support from people outside of you. So, when you're feeling like you just want to sleep and you just need to be down, like, honor that. Your body is wise. It knows that that's what you need. If you're angry, which a lot of people are very angry right now, rightfully so, because anger communicates when something unjust is happening, when something is unfair, when a boundary is being crossed. So anger isn't so bad. I mean, it's motivating you, to protect yourself, and we just have to find ways to honor that anger in a way that isn't self-destructive or harmful to ourselves or others. But the motivating energy behind anger is very self-protective. And anxiety, right? Anxiety is a lot of the fear of the unknown. It is a feeling of, I want to gain control. I want to gain some certainty over what I don't know, what I don't understand. Our human nature is we are very afraid of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen there, right? Anyways, I digress. I'm going into a whole evolutionary psychology rant, but the point is that can you trust your body to tell you what you need? Right? And right now it feels like there's a call to rest. Yes. Okay, 10 of Swords here. Rest. Time to rejuvenate. Please, time to recover. Time to recover. Yes, yes, yes. Just cycle, close that cycle, right? 9 is very close to the end of a 10. It's end of a cycle right there, right? So, like, listen to that part. And also it'll lead to some more emotional renewal as well when you listen to what your body is guiding you towards. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. That feels like a good place to end. Nothing more with that. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it even on this call. So we're gonna get through it the best we can. Okay. Forgive me if I'm a little, I don't know what the word is today. I'm, like I said, in my own energetic body, very tired today. But it seems like maybe you are too. So we can give ourselves permission to be however we need to be, and trust ourselves to move through that. Okay, now we're gonna pull for some Sacred Rebel guidance. So, source, this will be Sacred Rebel guidance for the viewer this week to help them connect with their true and authentic selves, which also includes their intuition and trusting their instincts. So let's see what guidance you have for the viewer this week. I'm just thinking back to that 333 though. So I feel like you're very, supported on another realm, very supported in another unseen way. Your guides are with you. And that also means you can ask them for help when you need, when things are too heavy, when you think things need to feel a little bit lighter, if you're carrying a lot, you can also ask them for that support, ask them to protect you right now. You can ask them to help lighten the load a little bit, things like that. So just don't forget that as well. So show me the guidance for the viewer this week. Ooh. I already saw it, but it fell. 1 second. Oh. Okay. You got in the world, not of the world. Oh, I love this card. It's so beautiful. 1212 as well. Okay. So right away, I'm just feeling that sense of, how I was talking about, like, you may not be feeling good. I don't know who can, watching what's happening in the world. This may also be part of that deep soul knowing that you may not understand how this world works sometimes. Join the club. It is hard to watch. Okay. How do I explain this? So, when people are talking a lot lately as there is a increase in consciousness, new earth, 5D, people are talking a lot about the world evolving. However, what you will see is that there is a mass of people, in my opinion, a lot of massive people in power and authority positions right now in the world who are not functioning from that place. They are still functioning from a consciousness in which is very wounded, which is based in fear, control, a lot of unconscious pain and trauma that hasn't been witnessed and transmuted and is still functioning in that state. And you may be on the other side of things, like a collective that resonates with my energy, right? Like a collective that, sees beyond that stuff, right? Like is motivated in their own healing and learning and growth journey. Maybe an empath, maybe a highly sensitive person, may identify as a starseed, an intuitive, a mystic, an oddball, an outcast, black sheep, you might resonate with any of those things. And so in that, like, you don't kind of feel like a part of this world. You don't really feel a part of, it's almost like, what am I thinking of? Like, it's like, I don't know you people. Like, I am not the same brand of human as you. Unfortunately we are, but I digress. But it just feels like part of this even soul level exhaustion is part of feeling like you are in the world, but not of this world. And for anybody who resonates with being like a starseed or, having lived lives in a realm other than Earth, you will also feel that Earth feels very dense, feels very heavy. Also, some of that energy, so you may have been feeling the weight of that a lot lately. And so, I see a lot of the water in this card as well, and it feels like go to a body of water. I personally was just by a river yesterday for the first time, and I don't know how long it's been since I've been by a natural body of flowing water. And just being there was so healing for my mind, body, and soul. So soul nourishing. And so it kind of feels like to escape the rat race of it all, to take some respite time from the things that we are seeing in the world. You know, empathy is a beautiful thing. More people need to have more empathy in the world, because otherwise these things would not be happening. If people actually could put themselves in the shoes of another human being. But empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. And we need to find that balance between being aware and in the world, and also taking some moments out to carve out some self-care, some energy clearing, some energy protection, so we can also be more of service in the world. We can help our communities. It's a balance, and so it does feel like the call this week is, spend some time in nature, spend some time connecting with the natural world that is deeply connected to spirit. Cleanse. I'm also hearing like take a bath, take a salt bath. Doing these things will help cleanse some of the density that you've been holding. And also, what we need now more than ever are more people like you who know that, yeah, we may be a human in this meat suit, but that's not all we are. More people need to, awaken to that, to have a shift to trickle out into the world, so that, hopefully one day we will have people in power who also understand that, who know that we are all connected, who knows that the earth is connected to us as well, and we should protect it, that there is no difference between me and you. I think of that lyric from the Tarzan song. Oh, how does it go again? They just don't trust what they can't explain. And that's a lot of what we see happening, is that people who are afraid, and unfortunately are in power, have the position to control and steal freedoms away from things that they do not trust and they can't explain. And that is a very fear-based, motivated, unconscious, wounded psyche that is enacting these things. And we need more people to awaken into that soul-based place, the people who know that we're not just humans in this world, we're also souls that are all deeply connected to the nature. And don't kind of let what's happening kind of dim that part. It's very, very, very easy to feel weighed down by the weight of this world. But also another beautiful quote, it was in the OA. If you haven't watched that show, I highly recommend. I'm not sure if this is the quote Britt Marling, the writer, took from somewhere else and put it into the show, or if this is her quote itself, but talking about how angels are like coal that were pressed into diamonds from the weight of this world. And that is true, especially for the sensitive, especially for the intuitive and empathic people of the world. Like, how things are going right now can be very soul crushing. So I'm right there with you on that. And so, take some time for yourself, take care of yourself. The better we can show up for our community in that way. And also, don't lose sight of when the masses kind of don't feel like they are in tune and aware of this stuff, don't forget your intuitive nature, that you know this on a soul level, and incorporate that also in how you treat people. You can still conduct yourself that way in the world, and let that effect trickle out. but also, spend some time, again, in nature, cleansing body of water. Also, do you see how free and like liberated this person looks as well? And it's like to not forget how to find ways to help our soul feel that sense of freedom and release and expression that is like maybe misunderstood, right? If you resonate with being the outcast or the black sheep, yeah, people may not get you. Okay, that's the worst it'll be. They don't get you, and that's fine. But the more you do that, you will also find like-minded souls like myself who would love to know more people like you. Who would love to meet a fellow oddball out in the world, to find another person who is a soul like, the kindred souls, and we do that by expressing ourselves freely, by letting that otherworldly part of us out to be seen. And also something that's coming through about that is that when we're not expressing that soul authentic essence of who we are, we also feel extremely exhausted on a soul level. It's like masking the deepest part of who you are all the time. I mean, that's freaking exhausting. It's exhausting. So that also might be a message here for you too, is that if you are going through your day-to-day, but there's a big part of you that's kind of masking your intuitive nature, your mysterious nature, the part of you that maybe people don't understand, the part of you that is very, again, intuitive, mystical, otherworldly, ethereal. People maybe don't jive with that, or they don't get you, or you've been, judged for those things, and so you don't express that part of you. When you keep living life, not allowing yourself to express that true essence and core essence of who you are, you will feel so depleted. And so, yeah, when we talk about, we had seen cycles closing earlier in the cards, the world card. So like, let that chapter close. Let yourself be in the world, but not of the world. Let yourself express that otherworldly part of you, because it inspires other people, and you also find the people who love you for who you are authentically at the core. Okay. Oh, that feels like it, beautiful souls. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that wants to come through for any signifiers. We did talk about 333. You may be seeing that more. You may have been feeling the call to be spending time in nature. We had 1212 come through if you've also been seeing that. This full moon in Sagittarius coming up on Wednesday may be calling to you as well. With the High Priestess ruled by the moon, there may be some energy there, some accumulation, a closing of a chapter. And Sagittarius is very free and authentic and expansive, and that is totally what this card looks like, So you may have a significant full moon in Sagittarius this Wednesday. So I'm happy for you. And please, again, take some time to rest, release the density that you're holding, and let your otherworldly self be seen and expressed, so that your soul is not exhausted and instead it feels free. All right, beautiful souls. Well, that feels like it's it for today's channel. I love you. Tell it to the people in your communities. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you are there for them. And I will see you next week.